Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another video. So, a new Dominus card got revealed, and this is a really interesting one. The fact that we're getting another Dominus card is a big deal, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. Before we talk about the new Dominus card, we need to think and analyze what do we need as term of a Dominus Trap, right? Because we got prevention from adding, we got summon prevention, we got monster negation, and we got monster removal. We pretty much have a lot of avenues covered with Dominus cards in general. And I cannot think of too many other options that we need for Dominus cards. Maybe a Dominus card that just punishes the graveyard. That would be neat. Especially with decks like Branded being very popular, like Post-Burst Protocol. Maybe a card that can just punish those kind of strategies would be helpful. Another removal trap, I don't think it's unwelcomed by any means. The thing about Dominus traps is that there are harder to stop than other hand traps. Now, let's check what did we receive as a new Dominus trap. The new trap that we got is called Dominus Spark. So, same condition as all the... you can only activate one per turn. That's normal. Has the same activation condition as Dominus Spiral. So if your opponent activates a monster in the hand or graveyard, you can activate this card as well. So, pretty much the canine restriction. So, the effect reads, target one monster your opponent controls, banish it. Then, if you have no traps in your graveyard, they can special summon one monster from their hand. If you activated this card, you cannot activate Earth, Water, Fire, Wind monsters for the rest of this duel. Alright, so this is basically another removal Dominus. It is the antithesis to Dominus Spiral. Now, you would think that Dominus Spark is a lot more punishing than Dominus Spiral because it doesn't cover as many attributes that you can utilize. However, I think it comes to no debate that Light and Dark are some of the strongest attributes in the game and one of the most supported attributes in the game. So, let's talk about some strategies that benefit greatly from Dominus Spark. There are going to be honorable mentions, one that you will now see in this video is Malice. You can definitely play Malice with Dominus Spark, and the deck already plays Dominus Impulse. So, that's already a scary thought to begin with. So, let's talk about a few others, right? So, the first one that I thought about was Labyrinth. And the thing about Labyrinth is, I think Labyrinth is the best deck that can play Dominus Spark. The number one reason for that is Dominus Spark removes a monster. So if Dominus Spark resolves, you're getting added effect from Lovely Labyrinth, you're getting an added effect from your furnitures, you're getting an added effect, and it just spirals out of advantage. Labyrinth is already known for playing Dominus Impulse. Some Labyrinth builds are stun heavy and play the Son of the Dominators. So, just the fact that you can play 3 Dominus traps in this deck is already really scary. Labyrinth has fallen off. We haven't seen Labyrinth in a while, outside of Kaihuan in YCSs and his Silver Palace channel. who knows? Maybe this is his year and he'll make a comeback with this strategy, playing Dominus Spark. Let's talk about the next strategy. So the next one that comes to mind is Exo Sister. So Exo Sister is another very strong one. This one also benefits from Dominus Spark, and Dominus Spark is very, very welcomed in Exo Sister because Exo Sister has a really tough time going second. And reminder, Exo Sisters can also play Dominus Purge. The exception would be Karma L. But if you already practiced enough Exo Sister, I think it's worth the contingency plan of just playing Purge in your like side deck or main deck if you can, because Exo Sister needs all the help they can get when they're going second. And Karma L is not a strong going second card, it is a strong going first card. You can also play Song of the Dominators. It does conflict with Martha, but Martha is the only Exo Sister that conflicts with Song of the Dominators. Every other Exo Sister works just fine. I guess it conflicts with Ellis too. I guess that is something I have to mention. But again, like, if you're going second with Exo Sister, you need all the help you can get, and Dominus Spark is a very welcomed one. Because Exo Sister is already really strong if you go first. So, very similar to Exo Sister, we got Dogmatika. Dogmatika can also play Dominus Purge. Sadly, they cannot play Song of the Dominators. Like every single Dogmatika that I'm showing right now activates from the hand. You have Fleur de Lis the Thunderbolt that also activates from the hand. This is a ritual-based archetype, so you could just play with the ritual monsters. But some of them benefit from affecting the graveyard as well. At least dumping cards to the graveyard with Nadir Servant and stuff. So I probably would not play Songs of the Dominators, but I would definitely welcome Dominus Purge and Dominus Spark in this strategy. Next one is Centurion. I really like Centurion. I think I will make another video talking about that, but I think Centurion is the one classic archetype that got the most support out of Blazing Dominion. Like, a lot of cards in Blazing Dominion just really help Centurion, like as a strategy. And Dominus Spark is no slouch to that. Like, the only Centurion monster that's not light or dark is MS6. And some people are just not playing MS6 already. So, like, if you just ignore MS6, Centurion is another very welcomed strategy that can play Dominus Spark. Let's go to the next one. So, we're going to talk about a combination here. We're going to talk about Thunder Dragon as well as Dragon Link. Dominus Spark is another card that can be played in this strategy. The thing about Thunder Dragon is, and like Dragon Link, outside of like chaos themed hand traps like Veiler, Ghost Ogre, stuff like that, there are no Dominus cards you can play in this deck without conflicting between engines. Like, you could make the argument for Dominus Impulse, but Dominus Impulse shut down the light attribute monsters from the strategy. One thing to mention about this strategy, and I did not put it in here in this video, this deck plays Bystials, and Bystials also work alongside Dominus Spark. So, like, between Dominus Spark and like light and dark hand traps like Ghost Ogre and Veiler and your Bystials, you have enough hand traps to just stun your opponent while also setting up your graveyard for your chaos plays. And reminder, we are getting more indirect support for them with Burst Protocol with the Rocket monsters. Speaking of Rocket, I think a pure rocket strategy will also benefit from Dominus Spark. The reason I mentioned pure is because of Dominus Impulse. Like, in my opinion, if any deck can play Dominus Impulse and another Dominus card, you should prioritize Dominus Impulse. Like, the power of the Chaos Monsters, like, give you a lot of pushing power. Like, it gives you stronger boards, it gives you stronger offense. But if you need a stronger defense, then Dominus Impulse is just one of the better ones. There's a reason this card is semi-limited in the OCG and got touched in the last forbidden, limited forbidden list. All right. So what is the next one? Oh yeah. So branded. As if this deck needed any more support, right? This is another strategy that can benefit from Dominus Spark. There are some cards in the strategy that you won't be able to utilize properly. Like, I don't remember if Rindbrom is a non-lighter dark, but I know for a fact that Spind and a few a few Springen cards do conflict with these. You cannot play the Tri-Brigade version of this deck as well if you're playing Dominus Spark. But I don't think you need it. Like, I think just Albaz, Cartesia, like the Synchro version, the new version of Branded, can play Dominus Spark, and it doesn't, like, disappoint, right? And reminder, if you haven't seen my deck report on it, I did play an Albaz version of Centurion. It did play Majestus cards as a side engine, but you can play a version without the Majestus cards and just play Dominus Spark. That is something that you can do in this deck and strategy. All right. So now that we covered a lot of archetypes, let's talk about all the Dominus Traps as a whole. This is our 5th Dominus Trap, which means, like, any stun strategy that was already playing the 4 Dominus Traps already have a 5th one. And the one thing about Dominus Traps is the more traps you have in your graveyard, the stronger these Dominus cards are. So just getting one of them in the graveyard is already strong enough. The fact that Sons of the Dominators can add any of them is also very strong. Now, what strategies can benefit from all the Dominus? So the first one I thought about was Runic. Like, Runic Stun. This deck has fallen off in the past couple years, but I wholeheartedly believe there is a world where you can just play Runic with, like, these Dominus cards and just play it as a dedicated strong strategy, and you'll get a lot of benefit out of it. The Radiant Typhoon version of this deck is already really strong in Genesis format, or was already strong in Genesis format, at least before the point adjustment. So, who knows, maybe Runic could make a comeback. Another reminder of another strategy, and you can pair it alongside Runic as well, is Paleozoic. Paleozoic is one of the better archetypes that can play these Dominus Traps, because Paleozoics are just trap monsters, and they just fill up your graveyard with other traps, which means you get the added benefit and power of all these Dominus cards. Paleozoics are primarily trap cards before they are monsters. So yes, you do lose out on, like, effects like, for example, Totally Awesome and Anomalocaris and, like, a few of the like extra deck ones. But just playing this as a stun strategy with these Dominus cards is really, really strong. You also have the Pacifist deck. That is another honorable mention alongside Malice. I figured I should mention. They can also play Dominus Spark. That strategy only revolves on spell and traps. It rarely plays monsters. Primite builds and Primite strategies are another strategy that can play multiple Dominus, and we've already seen the results from that. Like, we already saw somebody win a YCS in 2025 playing multiple Dominus cards and Sons of the Dominators in their strategy. Shadows to the Odeon deck. So yeah, Morganites. Any strategy that can play the Morganite cards will also benefit from this. Like, Morganite Stun is not that far off from a deck. That deck did lose a lot of power because Konami started hammering a lot of their floodgate monsters that you can play in that kind of strategy. But that doesn't mean that that deck is completely phased out, and these Dominus cards are more than welcomed in it. Another mention that I want to talk about is Regenesis. And you might be thinking, well, doesn't Regenesis conflict with Dominus Spark? It actually does. However, Regenesis is just one of those strategies where you can just win with just pummeling down on your opponent with your monsters. Like, this strategy can benefit from Dominus Spiral, like more than other decks. And, you know, there's a world where you can just pair these Regenesis monsters with Dogmatika. Shoutouts to 3 Stacks. He made a video like with this combination, and it looks really, really scary. And his list is post Blazing Dominion. So I will leave that in the description for those who are interested. Another good mention is Eldritch. Like, Eldritch is known for playing with their trap cards more than their monsters. So, and Golden Lord is a light attribute monster, so it does not conflict with Dominus Spark. But yeah, this is another strategy that can play all the other Dominus cards, and you just play it like a very strong control deck. They just keep bringing back Golden Lord with your other cards. Hashtira is another honorable mention. You can play this alongside Dogmatika and Regenesis. Yes, they do conflict with Dominus Spark, but, you know, they benefit from Spiral. And again, these are just beaters. Like, if you remember the old Malefic stun deck, this is pretty much the same ballpark. You're just going to pummel your opponent with just big monsters and just use as many of your like removal traps to just like start inflicting damage upon their boards. And again, Dominus, imagine you just spiraling and then sparking like, you know, like an opponent's board before you just summon these monsters. And then just adding Impulse and Purge. Like, all these Dominus cards are really strong Dominus cards. Like, Song of the Dominators just get greatly benefits from this as well. You can play Inspector Border, which already shuts down monster effects in general. And, like, this is a really, really strong card going first, but it's not that strong going second. So yeah. So I kind of want to remind people that we're getting Dominus Spark in the same set we're getting Freudalis Harmonia and Solemn Report. Like, these are 3 really strong cards. Like, I think a clear winner from this booster set is going to be stun decks. Like, any deck and strategy that can play Harmonia, can play Spark, can play Report, it's just going to be very powerful. And we're going back full circle because the first strategy that comes to mind is Labyrinth. Labyrinth can play all these cards without little to no issue. And Labyrinth, like, has historically just been known as a deck that doesn't do as well going second as it does going first. But we are getting a lot of cards to just mitigate that. But yeah, I think that's it from me. I hope you found this video like enlightening and very sparkling to your like. Okay, I'm just cringing right now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. Keep practicing and keep dueling.